updates. We're now learning that Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has met with US President Donald Trump in New York. He's described their discussions as good and constructive. Speaking to reporters after the meeting, Zelenskyy has hailed this big shift in Trump's position after the US president had stated that Ukraine could retake every inch of territory occupied by Russia. Now, the Ukrainian president further added that Trump has the influence and power to be a game changer for Ukraine, stressing the importance of strong support from the US and the global community at large. Listen in.
With the President of the United States was a good, constructive meeting. I'm very thankful for his efforts. I said it during the beginning of our meeting, but I think what is more important, what we discussed, I will not share all the details this time of our discussion, but it was good. And there are some moments about battlefield. I think that President is he knows some details, and I think he knows more details than usual. This post of Trump is.
And when he appears abroad in Beijing or somewhere else, it's only to buy more time for killing, pretending he seeks diplomacy. Putin only cares about using every meeting, every chance to keep the war going. I met with President Trump just now, and we spoke about how to finally bring peace, and we discussed a few good ideas, and I hope they will work. And I'm grateful for this meeting, and we expect America's actions to push Russia toward peace. Moscow fears America and always pays attention to the United States. So our soldiers this month, they occupied 360 kilometers, and they encircled 1,000 soldiers. And of course we want to exchange, because we need our soldiers in any case. But thanks to our soldiers, we have this possibility, this opportunity, and we will continue until Russia will stop this war.
Additionally, Zelenskyy has also highlighted that his discussions with Trump have covered the frontline situation, the counteroffensive operations near Dobropilya and Pokrovsk, and future security guarantees as well. On the other side, while speaking alongside Zelenskyy, the US president has warned that any incursions by Russian drones or fighter jets into NATO airspace must be met with force, urging that NATO should shoot down any Russian aircraft breaching alliance territory. Additionally, Trump praised Zelenskyy, calling him brave and saying that Kiev's forces are boldly protecting their nation's sovereignty. Listen in.
We're going to start a meeting with the president, who we all know very well, and he's a brave man, and he's putting up one hell of a fight, and we'll see how that all turns out. But we're going to have a meeting, and we have about 30 meetings scheduled today. But this is an important one. And we have great respect for the fight that Ukraine is putting up. It's pretty amazing, actually.
Later, in a lengthy post on his Truth social network, Trump has added that he believes Ukraine can reclaim all of its occupied territory in its original form, calling Russia a paper tiger. He also claimed that with NATO and European support, Ukraine has a real chance to win on the ground. Trump has also described the war effort as aimless and has stated it is time for Ukraine to take action, noting the economic strain on Moscow and what he calls resilience of Ukrainian forces. Meanwhile, at the UNSC meeting, Zelenskyy has called for harsher sanctions against Russia, emphasizing that Moscow must face the consequences to be forced towards peace and to prevent it from becoming a threat to Europe at large. Still with us on the broadcast is Mr. Matty Zwick. We've heard what both the Ukrainian president and the US president have had to say. And it's all very interesting because we've seen this constant change in Trump's tone, his rhetoric over the last couple of months, from ridiculing Zelenskyy over his outfit in the Oval Office to meeting Putin in Alaska, and now making a U-turn again. What do you make of this constant, repeated flip-flops that Donald Trump has been doing?
Well, I think this is very clear, and I think it's a good thing. that Trump, even with delay, is adapting to the new reality. He's already 9 months into his administration, and he saw that everything that he said in the beginning is not happening. I mean, from the Russian side, they see that they can seize more and more territory, especially in East Ukraine, so they continue attacking. Even today and yesterday, there were civilians dead and also militaries. And they are continuing their war to get the maximum quantity of territory they can get before there is a real ceasefire, if it's going to be one. From the other side, Trump understood that all his wishful thinking of telling Europe to stop helping Zelensky, telling Zelensky to put himself on the side and wait for the goodwill of Russia is not happening. And then he shifted completely his narrative. And now there is a combination of three different points. From one side, I said in the past also in other interviews that there is a big dichotomy. From one side, the Ukrainians failed to do a real counteroffensive since last summer, 1 year ago almost, and they didn't get their territories back. They even lose much more. From the other side, they know exactly how to do big operations with drones and other devices and attack army camps, refineries, petrol, gas, and everything that is doing a big headache to more that existed to the Russian economy. And for instance, their strikes the last 24 hours have reduced Russian diesel exports in the lowest level since the COVID time. And because they hit big time in an area called Astrakhan, which is 650 kilometers far from the Ukrainian border. So they have the capability of doing all these big operations. And this is also a tool for them to stop and to make Russia cease the fire. But it's not going to happen if they are not going to have 2 points fulfilled, which is also Trump being part of this effort with all kind of economical disruptions of the Russian economy and sanctions and helping the countries in Europe to give more and more weapons to Zelensky. And he's starting to understand that this is the way. I mean, the way that he denied from Biden is the way that slowly he's talking about now. And so let's see what is going to be. But this is a big shift in his policy because the reality is what is showing him what is going on.
All right, so with that, I would like to thank you for taking out time, sharing your analysis with us on NewsX World.